Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the managing director of an award-winning full-service marketing firm. He's going to talk about how he sets himself apart from his competition. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as the owner of a PR and marketing firm and now podcast network / television show network, I'm fascinated by people who are playing at the top of their game. And that's why joining us right now, James Weiss. He is a managing director of Big Drop Inc. James, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about Big Drop. What is Big Drop?
Yeah, we are a full-service digital marketing agency. So you can consider everything all under one roof. We help companies kind of find their voice through visual identity and branding, and then translate that to a digital property like a website or a mobile app, and drive traffic to it through various digital marketing means. But we are one-stop shop for companies who are either on the small to medium business side, the enterprise side. We're pretty size and industry agnostic as well. So we've seen and done it all.
I love it. And there's so many firms out there who are good at web design, but they can't actually bring traffic to the website. You can have the prettiest website in the world, but if nobody is visiting it, what's the purpose? So I'm sure your clients love this idea that they don't have to have multiple vendors.
Yeah, it really is a benefit to them too. And what's great about it is that it's been completely client-led in terms of how our services and our offerings have been structured. It was very much that organic conversation of, well, we built this thing that works really well, it functions perfectly, it does what we need it to, but how do we get eyeballs on it? And that's really where that digital marketing conversation happened for us, and we built out an entire team dedicated just to that. But I think if you ask our clients, they really appreciate having a one-stop shop as well. It's rather convenient.
Absolutely. And people have to stay current. Like if you're not redesigning your website every few years, websites can look dated. I mean, it seems like every decade there's a look and a feel to web design, and it's always changing. So talk about how you guys stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, the lifespan of a website is getting shorter and shorter, I think, by the day. One thing that our team does really well is we take a look at what's happening from a trending perspective. We obviously want to be current with what we do on the design side, but we also want to make sure that something that we're creating has some sort of lasting permanence, that there isn't necessarily a timeline for it to be the best it can be. And so a couple things that we do, internally is really figure out what the best way is to tell the brand story and put that in a package that is not only easy to digest, but will have the ability to grow and scale without needing to be dated towards the time that it goes live. I think we would do our clients a disservice if we really only stuck to what was working right now and weren't thinking about kind of future-proofing anything that we work on together, whether that's strategy, creative, actual creation of a property. For us, we kind of see those projects as digital marketing projects more so than we do maybe.
And I was impressed that you guys are working with some big clients. We're going to pull up some of your recent work, and as we scroll down that page, talk about the pressure that's on you. I know you guys are excellence freaks, as I am, and you want it to be perfect. Starting with web itself, that's your digital storefront, so it's got to be right.
Absolutely. And I think you touch on an important point there, which is when we are working with either a legacy brand or a brand that is incredibly well known or is a leader in their space, the expectations are high. And we know that we have to hit it out of the park every single time. We have our own ways that we do that, and we have a formula and a process that really works well for us. And I think clients also appreciate that, knowing that there is a standard that we follow and adhere to. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the names that you see throughout our entire portfolio should be rather recognizable, and I know our team is really proud of the work that they put out.
Sure, and I think I would compliment you on not just great design, but it's very user friendly. I liken it to if you go to a cheesesteak factory, I hate their menu because it's like a phone book, and I'm like, just give me one page, just give me one page. So talk about the latest trends in web design. Is it fewer pages or better, or what is the trend right now?
I think one of the biggest things is getting smarter about how you're structuring information architecture, the way the content is going to be laid out on the site. That's a trend that will always continue, and it's something that certainly predates, right now. But I think one of the biggest trends is being able to capitalize on the amount of kind of life share, the momentary interactions that a user would have on a given property, and being able to make sure that everything is easily convertible. Obviously, we're launching something that someone needs to take an action for. What's the best way to do that? The questions that we ask ourselves around, how we can create the best possible digital property are really still the same components and the same questions that were asked earlier. But we're doing it in a way that's going to make sure that we're satisfying the objectives that each client has. And that's kind of what makes us a little bit more unique, is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach. We are doing everything in a very tailored, customized way so that we know that we're going to hit the mark each time.
Sure. I'm going to ask that my producer pull up the Meet the Team page off your website, because I know one of the things that you're passionate about is having great workplace culture, and that begins with having a great team. Why don't you describe the kinds of employees that you attract?
Yeah, we really, and I think any agency and really any business would probably tell you that, the biggest competitive advantage they have in the marketplace is the people that work for them. And so for me, I want to make sure that, of course, we want to attract rock stars, but we want to attract those who are intellectually curious about the work that they're doing, whether it's a UX designer or an art director, or even anyone on the marketing side. I think in our field, there has to be that willingness to want to learn and to grow. Big Drop's a great place to do that because we see so many different types of engagements come through. We work with so many different types of companies, but we really want to make sure that the team that's able to satisfy our clients' goals have that ability to think through everything rather critically, and be able to provide that level of service that they really can't get anywhere else. So when we're looking for team members and when we are hiring talent, we of course want to make sure that the expertise is there, but we also want to make sure that there's ability for those team members to grow. And when the two meet, it's a win-win.
Absolutely. And I know you have employees all over the globe. Talk about the art and finesse of managing remote teams.
Yeah, it's tough. And it was something that was kind of put into place with Big Drop's inception. Our full-time team members span quite a few continents. So I think for us, everyone is really focused on the work, but there is this level of support that is an undercurrent that runs through every department at Big Drop. Everyone's here to make sure that everyone else feels supported, that they can make sure they can get the work done well, and that they have team members to lean on to bounce ideas off of, or to make sure that the work is getting produced at a really high rate. And I think what's been really interesting for us is seeing how there are different cultural differences among our team members, different languages that get spoken as well. It's really great to be part of a team, and I'm honored to lead the team now. But even when I wasn't, it was always great to have such a diverse group to work with. I think it made my work better, and I know that we wouldn't be the same agency if we didn't have team members from all walks of life in all parts of the world contributing to everything that makes our client engagement successful. But that has its own challenge when it comes to trying to maintain culture. I think one of the things that we face as an agency is wanting to make sure that There's consistency for everyone across the board. And through that, we do our best to make sure that anyone who is a direct report, anyone who is in a leadership position or a management position has the ability to, and really the structure to be able to lead their teams effectively. Despite the fact that there are differences in how we communicate, working schedules, languages, mitigating that is a good challenge for us. I think it makes us a stronger agency.
Sure. And I know you work closely with your clients, so there are no surprises other than happy surprises. What is it like when you unveil a website for the first time and your client loves it? What does that feel like?
There is no greater feeling than knowing that we've been brought on as a strategic partner and we've exceeded an expectation. Of course, we always aim for that perfection that maybe will never come, but we do reach excellence multiple times, and we have multiple times. We will continue to. I think for us, we work so closely with the points of contact at these companies that there's an emotional investment that gets made on both sides. We want the challenge of creating a digital property that's going to be, best in class and stand out from the crowd. And we want to make sure that the marketing objectives that our clients have are going to be met with the work that we do. It's such a great feeling to see, either a testimonial come through or get an email that says, you guys crushed it. Everyone on our side is so happy. Thank you so much. That is worth its weight.
Wow. You're an amazing guest. We've only got about a minute left. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I guess it's this, that one thing that I think kind of makes us stand out a little bit more too is that marketing itself as a concept, it doesn't change, but the ways you can market, those change. And I think one thing that makes our team unique and why we've been able to see the success that we've seen is because we're able to make those adjustments and change and stay ahead of the curve. If you are a marketer, if you are working with a marketing team, being able to work through everything that's changing in the marketing landscape and use it to your advantage is what's going to separate, great marketers and good companies from everything else. And I'm proud to be a huge part of that at Big Drop.
Outstanding. We're going to leave everybody with your website, which is bigdropinc.com. The great James Weiss. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.